On this Sunday, millions of fans will see the main event in House of the Dragon second season. This is what we've all been waiting for. We're about to see why this moment in Westerosi history is remembered as the Dance of the Dragons. They're about to unleash their fire all over Westeros. In this video, I will go over what might be some of the biggest scenes from the episode. About 6 months ago, someone uploaded a short outline that describes what will happen during the second season of House of the Dragon. Although we have only seen 3 episodes, the outline has been very accurate so far. We have already seen everything it says about the first 3 episodes, the only difference is some things were out of order. Now, the first thing I want to do is read what it says about the upcoming episode. Let's see if it does match up with all of HBO's official photos and videos. After we have a look at this outline, I want to show you another leak regarding what happens this Sunday. There is another major leak from the upcoming episode. The only issue is I don't know if it's from a reliable source. I don't know how they got this information. Maybe they saw the episode themselves, or maybe they know someone who did. What they said about the battle at Rook's Rest is very different from how it was written in Fire and Blood. While I do find it interesting, I'm just not sure if it will actually happen the way it says. That's why I want to save this other leak for the end of the video. If any of you want to read it for yourself, I will have the links down in my description. Alright, let's have a look at the outline that has been accurate so far. It says this episode will begin with the aftermath of Duskendale. As you all know, Sir Criston Cole and his army left King's Landing in the last episode. In Fire and Blood, they stopped at different houses who had an alliance with Rhaenyra. Sir Criston's objective was to get them to bend the knee for Aegon, otherwise they would die by the sword. When they arrived at the harbor of Duskendale, they sacked the town, burned the ships, and beheaded Lord Darklyn. All of this is likely to happen in the show as well. After they left Duskendale, they set their sights on Rook's Rest. This outline says Sir Criston, Gwayne Hightower, and Rhaenys Targaryen will need stunt doubles in the episode. This also makes sense because they're filming battle scenes involving a lot of action and fighting. It says there will be a scene where Sir Criston yells at Gwayne to get dressed for battle. Sir Criston Cole will give a speech at the beginning of the battle, letting the army know Aegon is with them. Now, according to this outline, there was a Sunfyre-sized green screen behind Aegon's men. This also seems likely because there should be at least 3 dragons at the battle. Fabian also filmed a scene of Sir Criston getting on his knees next to a burnt body. This sounds like it might be from the end of the episode after Aegon and Aemond fight Rhaenys. If you're familiar with Fire and Blood, then you already know how this battle will unfold. They most likely adapted everything it says about the battle. The outline also says there will be another scene with Alys Rivers at Harrenhal. She will yell at some of the soldiers who are there. HBO did release some new photos from this upcoming episode. There are some new images of Alys Rivers as well as Daemon Targaryen. I'm gonna go ahead and believe this will happen given how accurate the outline has been. Most of this episode will focus on what happens during the battle at Rook's Rest. Now let's have a look at this other major leak regarding the main event of this episode. As I said before, I don't know if this one is real. I'm only reading it because I think it adds another interesting layer to what happens in the episode. The leaker states Aemond is secretly plotting against Aegon before the battle. In fact, we might see Aemond try to kill Aegon at the end of the episode. I guess there was another leak where fans thought Aemond might try to kill Aegon with Vhagar, but after he realizes he's still alive, he lands his dragon then tries to kill him again with his sword. Only he's not able to because Sir Criston Cole stops him. Now, if I would have read this weeks ago, I most likely would have ignored it right away. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe Aemond is still very upset over what happened during the brothel scene. They go on to say, after investigating it further and getting more information from the original leaker, I think it's much more complicated than just that. It sounds like this is what's going to happen. So, before the actual battle begins, we will see a meeting where Aemond, Aegon, Criston, and Gwayne are arguing over whether or not they should go to Rook's Rest or Harrenhal first. Aemond argues in favor of taking Harrenhal, likely because Daemon is already there, and that castle holds greater significance than Rook's Rest. Aegon argues against him, saying they should go to Rook's Rest first in order to eliminate Rhaenyra's allies in the Crown Lands, likely with the idea in mind to make it very hard for the Valyrian fleet to have a safe area to land. The leaker also says something about what Alicent said to Aegon earlier, about sitting around and looking weak. Maybe Aemond said something in that moment, similar to how Daemon said Viserys was weak in the first season. We all know this is a sensitive issue for Aegon. He doesn't want to be looked at as his father. They go on to say Aemond's secret plotting behind Aegon's back isn't very clear. The leaker did not clarify what he meant by that because it could mean anything. I guess whoever leaked the information hasn't read Fire and Blood, so he could be misrepresenting Aemond's intentions. We already saw Sir Criston and Aemond discussing battle strategies behind Aegon's back. We may see Aegon tell Aemond they are heading for Rook's Rest first and it's not up for discussion. Aemond then defies him by continuing to plan his attack on Harrenhal anyway. Aegon ultimately decides they will use the army as bait to get Rhaenys into the field, where Vhagar will descend on her and her dragon Meleys. When the actual battle begins, Meleys shows up and starts burning the army. Aemond grabs Vhagar's reins and the dragon begins to stir, but he sees Aegon has gone against the plans and chose to attack by himself. Remember, Aegon doesn't want to be seen as weak. The scene will focus on Sunfyre fighting Meleys. After they're fighting for a few moments, Sunfyre begins to lose. They're not sure if Aemond is watching the whole time or not. It's only a few minutes before Aemond and Vhagar descend from above. Vhagar emerges and shoots fire onto Meleys and Sunfyre, and although Meleys gets hit, it seems Sunfyre is hurt the most. It says Sunfyre falls to the ground first while Meleys slams into Vhagar. They only fight for a few moments before an injured Meleys tries to flee for her life. Only Vhagar chomps down on her, ripping off Meleys' head. Meleys' body and Rhaenys then slam into the ground. It says Vhagar only has minor injuries. Aemond then lands Vhagar near Sunfyre. Aemond climbs down and walks over to a horrific sight. We see a blurred shot of Aegon and Sunfyre. We do not see Aegon's exact condition, but we do see Sunfyre who is badly hurt. It says Aemond then draws his sword and stares at what we assume is Aegon. The leaker sounds almost sure that's who it is. Aemond looks at him for a few moments, but ultimately decides to sheath his sword. Sir Criston walks up to Aemond while he's sheathing it, and then falls to his knees as Aemond walks away. The episode will end after that. We're not sure if Aegon was awake, or if he said anything to Aemond, as in maybe he asked him for a mercy kill. Alright, so now I want to read what it said about the so-called leak. Whoever uploaded this also wanted to give their own explanation for what this leak might actually mean. They wrote, it seems like what happens is that Aegon goes rogue and decides to attack first, either in a desire for blood and revenge, or because he felt weak and helpless due to what Alicent and Aemond said. Aemond is very likely split on whether or not he wants to follow Aegon. His first reaction to seeing Aegon charge was to call him an idiot, likely concerned in a brotherly way. Aemond at heart doesn't appear to have any desire to follow behind a coward who lets others fight his battles. Aemond just doesn't sit and watch Aegon lose and die. The leaker tells us once Sunfyre begins to lose, Vhagar takes flight and Aemond goes to help Aegon. Aemond most likely had Vhagar shoot fire at both dragons because they were locked together. He may have saw this as his only way to break them up. He wasn't likely trying to kill Aegon. Unfortunately, Sunfyre just happened to get hit harder by the dragon's flame. This could easily be misdirection where Aemond had no choice. His options were to take the risk and attack them both to split them up, or just watch Sunfyre and Aegon die. The walk-up scene is very vague as well. We don't have any actual wide shot of it. Aegon could look like a mess, and he could be asking for a mercy kill, we don't know. Either way, Aemond ultimately decides not to harm Aegon. Alright, so that's just about everything that was written in the other leak. As you can see, it's drastically different from what is written in Fire and Blood. While I do think some of that was interesting, I just hope they adapt the source material. I don't like the sound of Meleys running for her life. I love the idea of Rhaenys and Meleys fighting Vhagar and Sunfyre head-on without any fear. Now, we do know Aemond had a very emotional scene with Aegon in the last episode. Aegon did his best to embarrass Aemond in front of everyone inside the brothel. Aemond might not have had a reaction in that moment, but I'm sure he was filled with rage on the inside. I have been wondering if this will affect their relationship at all moving forward. I could maybe see Aemond and Aegon disagreeing over where they should strike next. We have already seen Aegon and Sir Criston Cole deciding what should be done with Vhagar without any consideration for what Aemond might say or think. Also, who knows how Aemond might react when he sees Aegon after the dust settles at the end of the battle. Aemond might consider showing Aegon mercy if he thinks his injuries are fatal. It will be very interesting to see how this battle unfolds now after reading some of this other leak. With that being said, I'm still not sure if it's real. For now, I only think the outline is accurate. Let me know what you think about this down below. I'd love to hear what all of you have to say. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching another video. I hope all of you have a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.